Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video I'm covering all of Prapor's tasks. There'll be timeline stamps down below in the description, so if you want to skip straight ahead to which tasks you're currently on. As well as that, if there's any minor changes to any of these tasks, they'll be down in the pin post down below. Now, if there are a lot of changes or new tasks added to the game, I will be remaking this whole video. So in the description, at the top of the description, or in that pin post, there'll be a link to the new video if there's a whole new video made. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Okay, starting off with debut. With this task, you need to kill 5 scavs on customs and get 2 MP133 shotguns. You don't need to find these in raid, these shotguns, but you do need to acquire them. And before the flea market, this can be quite difficult. My suggestion with the shotguns would be use your scav runs on factory or any map really, but factory will have your fastest turnover. If you have the shotgun already on you, you could just get some XP and get out, or just get out of the raid. Or you can walk around factory as your scav, find another scav that has the shotgun, kill them, grab the gun, sprint out. Don't mess about when you're in factory on a scav run. You will get attacked by pretty much any scav in there that is a player scav. For the kills on customs, there is 3 spots that I like to check at the start of a raid for my scav kills. I go there very quickly. I would go to either the 3-story dorms, then I'd go across to the 2-story dorms, and then across to the new gas station. All these have pretty much a guaranteed spawn to have scavs at the start of a raid. So you run straight to these places, you check them, kill some scavs, and then you'll have that part of the quest complete. Checking. This is a task that can be quite frustrating as a new player. The first requirement is you need to get the machinery key to open up the truck in the construction zone. The machinery key is located in room 205 of the 3-story dorms. It's the room with the bed fallen down in the hallway. You need to jump on top of the bed, crouch down, walk inside, and then open up the jacket to get the key. You can get these on the flea market or in other locations, but this is a guaranteed spawn location for this key. Once you have that key, head over to construction. You'll be able to go up to the big tanker, open up the front door of the tanker, and then get the bronze pocket watch from the floor. From there, you are required to survive the raid and hand it over to Prapor. The surviving the raid part can be quite difficult. Getting the key and then chucking it into a container means you can actually do this task multiple times and have multiple attempts. You don't need to get the key and get the bronze pocket watch in the one raid. Shootout Picnic. This is to kill 15 scavs on woods. Now I have on the screen a map of where scavs are highly located on the woods map. However, this task can be quite frustrating. When I go into woods, I would highly suggest using a gun that can shoot long range quite accurately, and Mosin works really well. Leveling up your Mosin skill or your sniper skill here can actually help you out later on as well. The scavs can be a bit sporadic. If you are going near the lumber mill, be cautious of the scav boss Sturman and his 2 minions. They use high damage and high penetration ammo, and if they see you, they will drop you very quickly. Woods is a very difficult map to play. Killing 15 scavs can be quite frustrating. Get through it and you'll be laughing. Delivery from the past. This is probably the hardest quest in the game for the majority of players when they first start taking on Escape from Tarkov. Delivery in the past requires you to go to the big red warehouse within customs. You need a customs office key. To get this key, you can find it in filing cabinets, you can buy it off the flea market, or you can also do a barter trade from therapist level 2, which will require you to be about level 13. And the barter trade requires you to have 4 gold chains. So if you want to do the barter trade, gold chains can be located in safes. It's not the easiest way to find them, but you can find them in safes. Once you have the key, head into the big red warehouse. In the second room, breach the door, and just located underneath the desk will be a folder. Then you need to survive customs. Once you have completed that, you need to head over to factory to place down the item. You can actually remove this folder from your quest inventory via your stash space or in the inventory of the game if you don't want to take on this task straight away. But if you do want to take it on, head into factory with it inside your inventory, your task inventory. You need to go to the metal catwalk cabin on the near the main extract of the map. It's a very highly contested area. You need to get down prone and then drop it over 30 seconds. After you hold F for 30 seconds, you place it down. You do not need to survive the raid straight away, but you will need to survive the factory raid to hand this quest in. The issue with this quest is you need to survive 2 maps in a row. Technically, you need to get into factory as well. However, it can be a very frustrating task. You can do this at nighttime factory. Just make sure you got a flashlight or be able to sprint over there as quickly as possible. And don't mess about, because once you're in that factory raid, all hell will break loose and you will die a lot trying to get this task done. My probably biggest tip for this one as well, if you can, take in a squad, take as many mates as you can, and it will reduce the amount of opposing PMCs they have to worry about whilst in factory. BP Depot. Now with this one, you need to go into customs. There's 4 tankers that you need to replace the marker beacons on. Now if you die with these beacons, the MS-2000 markers, you can buy them from Prapor level 1 and you can replenish your stacks that way. You need to head into customs. Walk up to each of these 4 tankers. The first one is located in the customs area, right near the back wall. Mark the one there, and then you just got to wait the timer. Second one is located in construction. It's the same tanker that you picked up the bronze pocket watch from for the checking task. The third one is located at the behind new gas station. And lastly, the 4th tanker is located at old gas station. Once you've marked all 4 of these, you just need to survive the map, and then you'll be able to hand this quest in. Bad rep evidence. For this task, you're required to go into customs and open up a cabin to get a folder and survive the raid. To be able to get into the cabin required in the factory office area, you are required to have the portable cabin key to the factory zone. This key can be quite frustrating to get if you don't have access to the flea market yet, but hopefully by now you should. By now, if you haven't realized, looting jackets is the best way to find any key in the game, and you should be searching every single jacket you ever run past. If you still don't have it, you can find this key inside filing cabinets, and there is one spawn within the factory. However, I would highly suggest avoiding going for this spawn. It's not really worth it. You are required to have the factory key. It's located on the 3rd floor of factory and underneath the jacket on the ground. Personally, I've never found it there. It's a waste of time. Don't bother doing it. You're better off either trying to get to the point where you can unlock the flea market, or just finding this key via jackets, scav backpacks, or in filing cabinet. Once you do go to the construction area on customs, open up the cabin. It's located on the desk to the right hand side after you go inside. Survive the raid and you'll be finished this quest. Ice cream cones. For this task, you're required to hand over 6 545 AK round magazines. There is the ZB014 bunker in woods that actually does have a pretty good spawn chance of having 60 round mags spawn in it. I have personally only found a few there, and you can go out of your way to farm them here. However, by this stage, you should already have access to the flea market. You can just purely buy all 6 of these magazines on the flea market. You'll get 3 magazines back as a reward, and then you can sell these 3 magazines on the flea market anyway. Other options for finding 60 round mags is you can go kill Killer on Interchange. Generally, when he has his RPK, you'll be able to get 3 magazines that way, or you can go kill Raiders on Labs or Reserves, and then you'll be able to get 60 round mags that way. Lastly, the newest option, which is crafting 60 round mags in your hideout at Laboratory level 2. You could go into Interchange, find yourself some kek tape, or you could buy the kek tape off the flea market and craft a 60 round mag from 4 30 round magazines and 1 kek tape. Postman Pat Part 1. With this task, you're required to go into factory. Under 1986, it's got written on the wall. There's a green lamp or a green light, Siloom. There's a little dead scav in there, and inside the scav's jacket, you can see the letter. It's a little bit like dicky to try and actually pick up. Once you pick it up, all you need to do is survive the raid and then hand it over to the therapist. Postman Part 2 is literally just hand it to the therapist, and then you'll get it back to hand it in to Prapor, and you'll be able to move on from there. The good thing about doing this quest is actually it unlocks the Salewas to be purchased from therapist, and it's actually quite a good med to be able to use. So getting this task done is quite important. Checking up Teller. With this task, you required a Dorms 203 key. It is potential that you can find the key inside the Dorms 214. However, if you do get the Dorms 214 key, the greater purpose for that room is actually the safe. If you are after the 203 key, it's located inside the mug, just next to the safe on the bedside table. Once you get into room 203, underneath the bed, you'll see a briefcase. Take the briefcase, extract the raid, and then you can hand it in. Punisher Part 1. This requires you to head into Shoreline and kill scavs using an AKM series weapon. For me personally, I like to use the AKMSN or AKMN, where I can put a PSO sight on it, and then that's all I do is have the PSO sight, and I go around and just try and tap scavs from range with this AK. The easiest way to kill scavs on Shoreline is to pretty much just go a line down the center of the map, starting from gas station down the bottom, and then heading up to the power station, and then to the bus depot. After you've gone to these 3 locations, I would just extract the map and then move on and doing it again. If all goes well, you should be able to get 6 to 10 scavs each raid, and then if you didn't run into much resistance, you'll get some loot and get out. There are other areas in the map you can get scavs, but they're not as consistent. Just be careful that there will be a lot of players in these areas as well, because they're actually quite contested areas, and they might be doing the same kind of task. So be prepared to get into a fight with this one. For Punisher Part 2, it's pretty much the exact same. You are required to get 12 scavs on Shoreline again. However, this time you also need to hand over 7 lower half masks. These lower half masks can be found on scavs as you've been playing throughout the game. You should be picking them up and putting them aside earlier on, but if you haven't known that, now you have to start collecting them. With the same tactics of killing scavs, go down the center of the map on Shoreline. You can put a suppressor on your AKM if you've already, or if you still have it. Otherwise, any of the suppressors should work. Every time they add a new gun, sometimes there's a bit of a delay for them being able to fix it for it to count. So if a new pistol gets added with the suppressor, but it does work with pistol suppressors, Mosin suppressors, and pretty much all the suppressors in the game that are in it there at the moment should work with this task. Punisher Part 3. With this one, you're going into customs to kill scavs. There are a few locations that I have spoken about in the past about scavs, being the 3-story dorms, 2-story dorms, and new gas station. That is the highest concentration of scavs you'll have in the game. However, keep an eye out for sniper scavs. There's one in construction. There's one on the big chimney in the middle of the map, and then also they're around the other side of the map as well, called Checkpoint. You are able to use any of the AKS-74U variants, being the UB and UN as well. I would not overcommit on modding this gun out too far though. You're better off just using good ammo, so BP or BT ammo, and then just getting your kills done nice and quick, and not messing about too much with PvP with this one, because generally this gun has a fair bit of kick with the recoil, and you don't want to waste too much time. Punisher Part 4. With this one, you're required to kill 10 scavs on woods using a 12-gauge shotgun. You can use either the MP153, 133, or the Saiga 12 for this one. I'll have up on the screen the location of the major areas for the scavs on this map. However, be sure to be careful of the scav boss Sturman in the middle of the lumber mill, as he can be quite brutal, as I spoke about previously. Next, you'll need to kill 10 PMCs on Shoreline whilst wearing a balaclava and scav vest. This quest is kind of bugged at the moment. You do not require to wear the scav vest, but they might have fixed it by the time you guys watch this video. But when you're going into Shoreline, there is a few options you have here. Going down the center of the map, just where the scavs are, and you can actually wait around without killing the scavs. Listening out for players. Once you hear a player shooting at one of the 3 locations I've spoken about in the past, you can run down and kill them while they're killing scavs. Alternatively, hit up the resort. There's plenty of action always going down there. It is a bit of a harder fight, but you will be able to get plenty of kills in the resort. Lastly, you need to find in raid 5 bars A-2607 knives. They're the brown handle knives. When you've got 5 of them, you hand them over to Prapor, and then you'll be able to complete this task. Punisher Part 5, this is actually quite an important task, getting the document case for completing it, so it's actually a really good one to get done. With the Find 3 AK-74Ns, the M4A1s, and also the 5PM pistols, you can literally buy these all off the traders and hand them straight across, or the flea market. So just make sure they're a complete weapon and they're actually functional, and you'll be able to hand these straight in. Kill 10 PMC operatives must be wearing a Packer vest and a 6B47 helmet. Personally, I like to just do this on factory. I just go into factory with some sort of gun, doesn't matter, whatever you're good at. Chuck on a Packer and a 6B helmet, and then just go ham, try and get 10 PMC kills. You can do this while doing other quests and going around the map in other ways, but for the highest concentration of PMCs, factory is normally the best way to go about it. And yeah, this is my option. Punisher Part 6. For this one, you're required to kill 15 PMC operators whilst using a SVD. The great thing about this task is you get the Secure Container Epsilon, which is a 2x4 secure container that you can replace your standard account with. You are also required to find 7 PMC dog tags for both Bear and USEC. You can collect this over any time of the game. You don't have to do it at the end when you're on this task. And with the PMC operators, you can be wearing any armor you want. So what I like to do is get an SVD, put a short range sight on it, like a PK06, and then I would literally just go factory with the best gear I can and just kill people there. However, you can complete this while doing other tasks and speed up some of your progress within the game. Polikhim Hobo, this is requires you to kill 25 scavs on customs. With this task, you'll actually get it whilst you're doing other tasks, and you can do this passively with the Punisher Part 3 task. However, getting those scavs on customs, new gas, 3-story dorms, 2-story dorms, you know the drill by now, and you should be able to get this task done pretty easily. Grenadier, this task requires you to kill 12 PMCs with grenades. Now, there's a couple of options you've got with this. If you really want to get it done nice and quick, use VOG grenades. They've got a shorter fuse time. You can either use the 2-second or 2.5-second fuse time grenade, and you can just try and go around maps and just grenade people as you go. Alternatively, an idea that I've actually used in the past quite a lot is I've always kept a grenade in my container. And what I would do is if I saw a Pestily or a hatchling whilst I was over geared on them, I'd just shoot them in the leg, run up to them, and then drop a grenade at their feet and run away. They won't be able to run because they've got no leg stamina and their legs are blacked out, and you'll be able to get the easy kill. Keeping a grenade in a container can actually work really well with this task because it also does work in situations where you're like, I wish I had a grenade to get this player that I can see. So consider having a grenade in your container at all times when you're on this task, all those situations where you can get that easy grenade kill. Perfect Mediator. This is pretty much a task that I deem a reward for hitting level 40 and unlocking all the traders to level 4. For this task, you're required to get all the traders to level 4, and as a reward, you get a thick weapon case, which is a very large container that holds weapons, mods, ammo, and magazines. So it's a pretty good container to have, and you get it for free pretty much when you hit level 40. And you've got all the traders unlocked to level 4. Insomnia. Kill 30 PMCs during nighttime between 2300 and 0400. With this task, you actually do have a few options. What you can do is you can go nighttime factory and permanently have the right time zone to do it. Nighttime factory can be quite difficult the later it gets in the wipe, with a lot of people running either thermals or NVGs. Alternatively, whatever the time zone states on the left-hand side, you can go into the labs and it will be that time. So if on the left-hand side, it says like customs is 2300, you can go into labs and it will be 2300. You can kill players in there and get kills towards it from that. Personally, my favorite and easiest way to get this is actually go into reserve and go to anywhere that there's pretty much a money run being made. I've got guides for it, plenty of other people do. Go in really geared with NVG and you're just going to run into people doing nighttime money runs on reserve. You can just slaughter them as they're doing it, take their loot, get the kills, and then laugh all the way to the bank. Test drive part 1. This task has been recently changed down to 5 PMC kills using an M1A hybrid 46 silencer and a Trigicon Reaper thermal sight. Now with this one, you get the actual gun with accepting the task. If you die, you're going to have to make the gun again, which you can just get an M1A, put the hybrid suppressor on, and get another sight. However, the sights are very expensive at the moment, and that's why the task got changed down to 5 PMCs. My favorite way in getting this task done is actually going to nighttime reserve and sitting up on a hill and then shooting players as they're running around in the low ground, either towards the extracts or throughout all the loot runs. And it's probably the easiest and safest way to do it. You've got good obs, you've got a thermal sight, and you're going to be hard to be seen. So that would be my suggestion for it. I'm sure you guys might have your own ways, but you can also double this up with Insomnia and get both the quests done at the same time. Regulated materials. This one, you're required to get a military battery and also 10 30mm shells for the BMP cannon. There are 2 rooms in reserve that I think have a really good chance and opportunity for you to get a military battery. The first one is RBST. There's actually a couple of spawns in this room for you to get a military battery. The other option is the RBOP room, which is the bottom of the Queen building downstairs. Has a pretty good chance to spawn it there. When you get the battery, it's very large. You'll either have to press the button to get the hermetic door extract or use the Red Rebel paracord extract on top of the hill. If you don't want to buy those keys, you can also find it around the tanks, around the open field areas. However, it's a pretty small spawn chance for that. The 30mm cannon shells, they're actually quite difficult to find. The spawn chance is quite low. RBST has plenty of spawns in there. Whenever you go into the open field around the tanks, you can find these on the ground, either in the bunkers or around the tanks, on either the cardboard, the boxes, the wood, or the desks. And you can also find these in duffel bags. So you should be searching duffel bags from very early on for any task item you can see in the future. But this is one of the ones that you're going to have to find, and it can be quite difficult. I'm hoping there will be a craft in the hideout for this one eventually. The last 2 tasks I want to talk about are optional tasks that either are from with decisions made from therapist or skier. A big customer, find a transport for chemicals. This is located in one of the warehouses in the middle of the map. It's the same one for Chemical Part 4, and it just gives you the option to either go through Skier or Prapor for it. I would highly suggest handing this to Skier anyway, and you should not be handing this to Prapor, as Skier gives you a better helmet that you can buy forever, whereas Prapor will not give you that option. No Offence is a way to redeem some reputation. This one requires you to hand over 10 M67 grenades. For this task, you are required to either buy the grenades on the flea market, buy them from Peacekeeper, or you can find them in Raid, hand them over, and get some reputation back. So guys, thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, smash the shit out of the like button. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, I have plenty of other task guides down below. Go down in the description. hit up the links and you can find out all the other task traders that you're after. You can even bookmark this and come back to it and use all the timeline links to speed up finding out which tasks you're up to and what you've got to do for them. I do put out lots and lots of videos, particularly task guides and guides in general. So if you haven't subscribed already, smash the subscription button and hit the notification bell for all the latest content. I'm trying to put out as many videos as I can, and I do want to push towards 1 million subscribers. Even though we're only a quarter of the way there, it all takes one person at a time to get there. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you've got any questions, you always hit me down in the description below, the comments below, and also on my live stream. And lastly, I'll see you next time.